Hey everyone, I'm Nick.
I'm Vic.
And we're MV Board Gaming. Today we're taking a look at Verdant finally. So we're going to just do the review portion. We've already done the playthrough. This is a game by Flat Out Games and AEG. And it's a 1 to 5. 1 to 5 player game. So we're just going to jump right into the review portion. We have already done the unboxing. We've already done the playthrough. We do have a rule clarification. We did a post on that video and in Board Game Geek that the nurture tokens, we weren't discarding them. We were putting them on our room. That was one rule that we got wrong.
Well, you don't put fertilizer in a bedroom or something.
No, turns out no. So, first impressions, Vic, when we unboxed the game, what did you think of Verdant? Because you didn't really know anything about the game.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And I had backed it on Kickstarter. This was a Kickstarter backing.
Yeah, so I saw the cover. I go, oh, a cat, a quilt, and then I knew it was the same designers and the same company behind Calico and Cascadia.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even some point salad.
Yeah. So when I saw that immediately, I was drawn to that. I liked the theme being plants. I do enjoy seeing the artwork was so beautiful to me. And when I saw the plants have the little facts on the cards, but they're very clean. And then it's a colorful look to it. And there's these furniture items. And then they also have cockatiels. They have a parrot that I used to have when I was a kid. I used to have a few of these parrots, so I get excited when I see them in games.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my immediate impression was, oh, this looks interesting. And then when we did our first play of it, I liked the simplicity of it. I thought, okay, this is not a very heavy game because it's going to be in line with the other ones we played.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any thoughts as far as pros and cons because it was what I expected.
Okay.
It's what I expected for production-wise of the similar types of games like Calico and Cascadia you mentioned. I felt like it was right on par. Nothing was over the top. Nothing was underwhelming. Felt like it was exactly as I expected to get in that box. So I guess that's a positive because in general, I like what I get in those boxes. And I think it's above average in general.
Yeah.
So, again, you said art. Yeah, the art pops. The art is it's very clean. The cards look very nice. And no issue there. It has a good appearance on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Pros of this game, it's going to be easy to teach. Besides that one rule that we got. But it's easy to teach. It's kind of gateway-ish, I would say. There is some puzzle there. But it is forgiving, so it is for newer players would be, they would not feel as pressured as opposed to maybe a game like Calico, where you might not get what you need all the time. This one you do, you'll get what you need in general. Now, obviously, you can't say it all the time, but in general, you'll get what you need a lot more often than you will in a game like Calico, where it is more punishing.
And there's ways to mitigate, similar to Cascadia, where you can spend those helping hands or those thumbs up tokens. You can spend those to refresh tiles. There's a few different things you can do with them. You can add verdancy to plants, and there's a few things. So I do like that there's flexibility in the way that Cascadia has, where Calico doesn't offer maybe that.
You can see that game in this game a lot, just like you can with Calico. You can see both ways what it's doing. It has a lot of similarities, and you can see that in the refresh. You can see that in get the token that matches the card, and you can spend things to mix and match, not take the token with the card that's matching it.
Yeah.
The same thing you can with Cascadia. You can see all that, You can see getting the tokens that you need, and there's so much similarity there that it's hard not to compare the three games.
Yeah, I would say the most constraining thing about Verdant is the fact that you have to lay out a particular order. You can't have the same type of cards beside, so you can't have two plants beside each other. You need
your tableau.
The tableau that you end up putting out it has to be alternating. So that does add to the layer of challenge because you're filling up spots and you go, oh man, I can't take any more rooms because maybe now I'm at a stage where it's really the only spots left are plant cards.
Yeah, I didn't really run into that. I feel like you can play above and below. You can play side to side. It's a 5x3. So there's a lot of ways you can say, okay, well, I can't play a room here, but I can play it here.
Yeah.
I can play So, and I think the pros of this game it depends on the type of gamer you are. The pros for you might be not the pros for somebody else. like the how liberal you are with your decisions. It's like you can make mistakes, and it doesn't really punish you often. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'll just get the card that matches both of that, those desires for sunlight and partial sun.
Yeah.
So the way the game works is with those rooms, it has four sides of the card, and it'll have depictions of which type of light source it wants, and in the room. So you might have darkness in this side of the room up top, and you might have brightness at the bottom, and you're trying to get the plants in the positions that the plants desire. And those are listed up top of the plant cards. Um, you get what you want in general. You're gonna find what you want, and that's what makes it kind of like a more of a laid back feeling,
Yeah.
um, and more easy to accomplish things.
Hmm.
The biggest challenge you're gonna have, I think, with accomplishing things is getting the right verdancy when you get those higher point cards.
Yeah.
Get it enough. And that's when those nourish tokens really help, where you can put on 3 on 1 sometimes.
Yeah.
Or 1 all surrounding, or things like that.
Because even if you put the plant beside a room that doesn't even match what it looks for, you can always nurture token it and get it.
And you get you're probably gonna get the furniture and the pets that you need in the right colors, because those are gonna come out readily, and you can replenish them with the thumbs up tokens.
Hmm.
So again, the game isn't as punishing as something like Calico was.
Yeah.
And that's either a pro or a con for you. It just depends.
Hmm.
You got any other pros you want to mention?
I think that the turns being very quick, I enjoy. I like how quickly you can make a decision. It's really, you're just taking a combination of a token and a card, and then the next person goes. So it's not, bogged down too long with the crazy actions and completing them. You're sort of racing to try to get those high value pots so that you can hope to complete your plants and get the verdancy that they require, so you can get the higher value pots to start, because that makes a difference when you're getting all the threes, let's say, in the
Okay.
game. Yeah.
We'll jump to neutral points, negatives, things like that.
Sure.
The promo that we got, I was neutral on it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really care if I use it or not. That one eliminates the verdancy points that you get. Instead, it gives you the thumbs up as a currency type thing, as a resource. Take it or leave it. At least it's not base game. Because I don't tend to go for them too much. I'll go through it once in a while, and it's kind of underwhelming to me. But it's not in the base game, so I can't really score to negative or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a neutral to me.
One thing that I see a positive about those is that sometimes when you have a plant out and you've got the verdancy, it's happy, it's in a pot, you don't really have much else to do with it, and so it's nice to have those ones that are going to be a source for those helping hands, or those thumbs up, green thumb, whatever tokens, those hands. It's a good way to get those.
Mm-hmm. I was saying I was actually going to say that was a negative, as far as having those cards that you've already completed them. You only have 7 or 8 of those plants, and once they're done, and they just kind of sit there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see at the end of the game type of thing. And sometimes you're going to score. There's opportunities to score more verdancy on those that are already done, and it's like it's just kind of wasted.
Yeah.
It's more of a neutral than it is a negative. I can't really say it's a negative.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and this is mileage may vary. For me, the biggest negative is the liberalness of it. The way that it's so loosey goosey. I'm gonna get what I need. It's not that it's kind of anticlimactic to my play style, where I kind of like the stress of the puzzle.
He likes to struggle.
Yeah, I like that in Calico. Not knowing, but trying to maximize the chances, trying to create areas where hopefully I can pull these right tokens.
Mitigate disasters.
Yeah, there's a puzzle there that I find kind of fulfilling, and I don't get it in Verdant, unfortunately. But other players may be the exact opposite. They like the freedom. They like, in general. There's only 3. Not in general. There are only 3 types of sources. There's either full on brightness, there's partial light, and there's darkness.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those are the only 3, and you're going to be able to find those in the deck pretty readily.
Yeah.
The only opposition you might face is if you try to pair up a darkness and a brightness, because there's only a few that don't really care. They'll say, I don't care. This plant doesn't care if it's bright, dark, doesn't care at all. There's only a few of those. So if you made an error where you're pointing at the same thing and it wants brightness and darkness for this area, that's a little tough to pull off. You probably don't want to set yourself up for that. That's all.
So you already know it kind of like not plays itself, but you know how you're going to go about it when you have those rooms that are like that. You know what kind of plants you're going to go for.
Yeah. So, for instance, if I want, the safest thing is partial, because you're going to have a lot of them that have brightness and partial, or darkness and partial. That's the safest bet. Just get a partial light, fine. And I'm talking about the rooms where it says in the four sides. And also, if you do ones that are, darkness, you're going to be able to find that easily. If you do ones that are brightness, you're going to be able to find it easily. It's just the darkness and brightness combo that is harder. That's all.
Yeah.
And it might not make sense to you unless you watch the playthrough.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to describe it as best I can.
So how would you rank between Cascadia, Calico, and Verdant being so similar to the games? What would be your ranking for those?
It's going to be Cascadia and Calico are pretty close. It's going to be interchangeable depending on my mood and what I want to do. If I want to just relax and play, or if I want a puzzle, then I want Calico. If I just want to relax and play, I want Cascadia. Then it'll be Verdant third. And it's for me, it's not that close. And that's not saying that Verdant's a bad game at all. It just doesn't match up with the other two to me. It's not my style of play as much. And I don't know. What were you thinking?
I would say Calico I would put third just because of the struggle of it, knowing sometimes I can lose the plot completely and lose sight of what pattern I was trying to get and where I was trying to go, and I sometimes just let it all collapse. I'm like, I can't fix this, it's done, I'm doomed. And then with Cascadia and Verdant, I feel like you could interchangeably I could put them one or two. I guess first would be Cascadia because of the animal theme. I do like that. I enjoy the theme a little bit more than this one, so I would be 2 for Verdant.
I think Cascadia is probably going to overtake Calico in general. I think Calico, the big thing is the cats. The way that you keep having to put those tokens out.
Yeah.
I don't like that. There's something about the cat tokens and the board getting cluttered with those tokens that I don't really like that much. And finding all the cats the way it's organized, I don't know. But that's just the only thing that I'd probably put Cascadia as 1. Calico is 2 for me, and this one has 3. So let's get into our scores.
Time, yeah. So for me, I scored this game high, 8.4. I really love the quality of the game. The components of the game are nice. I enjoy the cards. I like the art. I like the theme. I like the liberalness, the, smooth ability to just do as I want to and accomplish what I want. I like some of the goals that you have at the top of what kind of plants you're going to end up putting in your tableau, and I enjoy building tableaus. And I was going to say this is a con. I wish I could build a bigger tableau, the 3x5. I just more plants.
Yeah, Vic wants to play a little longer than a 3x5. I can see that. You want kind of a few more turns maybe.
Yeah.
It does end pretty quick. It says 30 to 45 minutes on the box. I don't know if that might be accurate. I'm trying to think if we play under 30 minutes when it's 2-player. I don't know. So my score won't be as high as you can tell, but it's not a bad game. It's a fine game. I think it's a serviceable game. I think it's a gateway-ish game. It's just not my particular style, which is fine. I'm going to give it a 7-1. It's in the low 7 range. I don't know where to put it exactly, but I'm going to go 7-1 for this game. Recommended if you like the loosey-goosey, relaxing type games. I think Cascadia is the better one for it, but this one's still, is still solid.
Well, we'd play any of the 3, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun with this. Let us know in the comment section below if you've played any of those 3 games, how you rank them. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel for more great reviews and playthroughs. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.